Hello, 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 and welcome to Larger Curves. Thank you for coming through. Thanks for being here. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive. What happened today, you guys? What happened, Curvies? Hey, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. On your way in, ring my bell. Ring the bell so you can get notified when we upload videos over here at Curvies. Okay? And so you can become part of this beautiful curvy community that we're growing in the YouTube streets. We talk about it all over here, y'all. We talk about reality TV and we pick apart the things that trigger us because we don't believe that entertainment should be triggering. And then we get to some economic stuff. I have a coffee room segment where we talk professional stuff. And then we also have my series on various ways that you can fortify generational wealth and pay zero taxes. And then we also have open panel discussions, freestyle. And today we're going to go there, y'all. We're going to go to P-Town, y'all. We're going to P-Valley, y'all. We're going to the politicking of it all, okay? We're going to the politicals today because Joe Biden done dropped out the race, y'all. Now look. Oh my goodness. Woo, 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 woo. Pull over. Oh my goodness. Can somebody get the authorities, the other authorities? All I can say is good for you, Joe, that you finally did it, but you sure did paint us into a little corner here, didn't you, Joe? We only have 177 days to get to know an alternative for somebody on this ticket, you know, Joe. And you did promise us that you would be a one-term president, Joe. But, yeah. I'm going to drop the link. I'm dropping the link. Here we go. Because we got thoughts. I know we got thoughts. Look. You guys, why did they do this? Why did the ass cheeks do this? Everybody's flaunting their Republicans and Democrats all in the streets. Why did they why? I'm going to Google it right now. I'm going to ask Siri. Let's see if this bitch knows anything today. Is a primary required for an election for president in the United States? Here's what I found. She wants me to read for myself. You know what they say, make a person read it, right? So requirements of the United States. Okay, most candidates, blah, 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 blah. Requirements, political parties. No, I just want to know, like, what's the process? What's the freaking process? Okay, what's the process? Because I've been blaming this on the DNC since they didn't allow Marianne Williamson to get up there and say that she would demand reparations for the black people and that we could make it happen. They didn't want to have no debate with her. Everybody tried to pass her off as cuckoo Lulu. She's making more sense than old Sleepy Joe, y'all. And now Joe done painted us in a corner. I'm the one that beat Trump. No, sit down, Grandpa. And nobody wants a grandpa for it. They're not available. We don't need him like leading the charge. We're going to be worried if he's going to pop a coronary, trip and break his hip. He needs to go sit down. Damn it. Now we have 107 days. Damn it. We could have had 365 days if he would have announced last year that, look, I'm going to be passing it off. You guys need to get your stuff together so you can run out and tell the constituents that we the people of the United States, because don't forget that's what you told us. Don't forget that's how you sold it, is that we vote because it's we the people and we determine who sits over there, and the laws are supposed to be made according to what we determined the laws should be made up to be. Come to find out it's a fucking corporation, and the CEO, COO, trustee, and all the other people up at the top to top are in cahoots to keep us on our 40 hours a week. Got us spinning. We could have 365 days. We could have 300. We could have even longer. First, he strung us along. Then the DNC. What is the purpose of the DNC? Let's ask that question. Maybe Suri will tell us that. Oh, and look, I hate when I ask her anything and then she stays on and I just been chatting it up in the room wherever I am and I come back to my thing and she's just lit up. Eavesdropping. That's what happened on Scandival. Anyway, what is the purpose of the DNC? Here's what I found.
National Convention, DNC, is a series of presidential nominating conventions held every 4 years since 1832 by the United States Democratic Party. They have been administered by the Democratic National Committee since the 1852 National Convention. The primary goal of the Democratic National Convention is to officially nominate a candidate for president and vice president, adopt a comprehensive party platform, and unify the party. This is from Wikipedia.
Okay, well, that sounds reasonable enough. Did y'all hear that? I hope you were able to hear that. The thing around my halo was moving. My halo. Ooh. Yeah. So it sounds like a process that's been around for eons, centuries even. 1852, we was freed by 1865. We was having Juneteenth. So, but they're not even supposed to. Okay, I'm making a big to-do about it because just based off of how much hype Trump has continuously gotten, and I don't usually say his name, who walks behind the rose, but for 45 to have had so much press, because he's been on TV, he did The Apprentice, he's well loved in many communities, his name has stayed in the press. So that is a jump on anybody with these 107 days to add to a ticket with old Kamala. And Kamala comes with her whole set of own issues based off of what AOC and the rest of the people over there say. But we know it's not just about, see, look, she's still listening. Oh, I didn't drop the thing. It's not just about Kamala. It's also about Trump. It's about Proposition, the what's it called? Project 2025. He denounced it. I don't know anything about it. Everybody's like, oh, he denounced it so many times. I'm like, yeah, he also said he didn't pay off that Stormy Daniels. He also said he didn't grape the lady. He also said a lot of stuff that he did. So, we're just supposed to forget everything. And then I know I'm like so much glitter, sunshine, and silver lining. I've literally look, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I just want the process to be the process, uninterrupted. Oh, look, Sebastian's in the back. My thing didn't say anything. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just came from off of another panel.
Oh, where? What were they talking about?
The same thing.
So, what's the consensus so far out there? Because I was.
Everyone is just saying vote blue and stuff. Vote blue and vote blue. Vote blue. Vote blue. Vote blue. Support Kamala and stuff. And I'm just giving my stances on politics. I'm very neutral. I'm always like, educate yourself on each candidate. Vote for whoever you want. Vote for whoever's your best interest, and that's it. Yeah.
Right. Well, you know what?
I'm Switzerland.
Right. Switzerland is really good to have because is that near the Netherlands where the Hague is?
No.
But
I want to go to the Hague. I think it's Hague or Hague.
Uh-huh.
I want to go.
I don't know. Do you believe he put it in a tweet? Who does he think he is? Portia Williams breaking up with Simon?
Me personally, I think this is a disservice because we could have had the opportunity to hear other candidates. We could have had the opportunity for actual democracy to take place. We could have had the opportunity to have primaries to actually vote for who the F people registered Democrats wanted to vote for.
Yeah.
And that's not what I see happening. And it's unfair. It's unfair to the American people. No. It's not that I dislike Kamala. I have nothing against her or anything.
Right.
But it's completely, I'm just being honest, and I'm honest on both sides. The Republicans, they did have a primary. They did democratically elect
Mm-hmm.
him. This is not what's going to happen here. They're just going to do the convention, and the delegates are just going to pick whoever they want to pick. Like, what is this?
What is
It's
it?
supposed to be the U.S. I thought we're supposed to be the land of the brave and the free, and we're supposed to uphold democracy. We're trying to prevent a danger of democracy to enter the White House. Meanwhile, the party that's saying that, they're not the ones upholding democracy themselves.
They're doing, and they're actually, look, it's a micro of the macro. You know me. They're doing what they're claiming he's gonna do.
Right.
They're
Right.
doing what they're claiming he did on January 6th. You know, by not letting us have our right to our own vote, they like usurped it from us and made it him. And now we're all scrambled. Then they shamed anybody who was like, "What you guys doing?"
And every time you
Anybody-
question
they
that,
shamed us.
they shame us. They shame you if you question this. They call you a
You're
Trump
not
supporter
America.
if you question
Oh,
this.
you
You're
just
not even
want
allowed.
45. Oh,
This
you
is the
just want
thing.
45 there. You just want 45 there.
Right. And the thing is, I'm just saying, no, I don't want 45 there. No one, well, majority of people don't. But the fact that y'all are not even following the rules of the game, that y'all don't make him even better than him. Y'all are just the same to me. I'm very disappointed that democracy is not being upheld here, and it's disgusting. It's horrible.
Yeah. And especially like those are the big brass balls we go around throwing in other countries is democracy.
Yeah, we know
You have
what's
to
best for you.
uphold
That's what they tell
democracy.
these other countries. We know
Yeah,
what's best for you.
that's not nice.
You need to become like us. Meanwhile, these countries have their own culture, their own language, their own religion and stuff, and we can't just make them become like us. That is the call. You're talking about liberal internationalism curves. That's what that is. The spreading of the Western ideals to non-Western countries and stuff. It's completely
Hey
false.
Mel, what's good?
I believe that.
Hey, Curves, how you doing?
I
Excellent.
personally believe that
What?
Mel. I personally believe that democracy should be upheld no matter where, no matter what. If you are a democratic country, the U.S. is one, but we're not a direct democracy. We're a Republican democracy because we follow the Republic values. So it's not. To me, this is not. Kudos to Kamala, but this is not really a good thing, in my opinion. If we want to be the poster child of democracy to the world and the poster child of the free world, this is not a good thing.
I was going to say, hello, Mrs. Sebastian. Hi. You know what? I'm glad I came in. I won't be able to stay too long, but you know what I was thinking? I watched Turks. It's this channel where they're very progressive, and they're very liberal.
I love the Young Turks, despite
Right.
me not agreeing. I don't agree with all their political stances.
Well, okay. It's all good. I like that channel, but the thing is, so after both of y'all know it. So after the debate, the channels that I watched, whether it was NBC or whatever, they were so hard and negative about the debate, and they just was going in. And my question has always been, why do Democrats or people who are non-Trumpsters, why do they want to take the high road? I don't understand that, because when Trump was out there getting convicted of all these problems and doing all this stuff, the people never second guessed him. Basically, they just kept on pushing him and celebrating and all that. When it comes to Biden, they just was. I decide that he's on the Democratic side. They were just they weren't doing the same. Okay, so now he's gone. I was in those chats today, and I said, "Are you happy now?" To the people who were on the Democratic side, who was like, "He needs to come down." Da da da. I said, "Okay, are you happy now?" So what else would make this situation good for you, basically? And I didn't really get an answer. I think that for me at this time, I don't believe in any perfect politician. I don't believe that it exists. I really don't. I don't think that any election is going to be it's going to be perfect. I just don't think that. I think that for me, I'm voting this year because I want to continue elections. I want to continue democracy. I want this process to continue. This year is not, I don't want it to all stop, if God forbid Trump gets in office and then now everything, is the way he wants it for the next 20 years. I don't want that. I want more Republicans, more Democrats. I want more conversation. I don't want to just be one-sided for the foreseeable future. That's why I'm voting. Now, for me personally, there's so many problems that we have in this country that I don't believe will be solved before November. I don't. I think that the major thing I'm focusing on is the election in November, and then also trying to continue the conversations, in 2025, 2026, and all the way to 2028, where maybe people might make another decision. But I don't know. I just feel like it's not realistic to try to solve all the problems that we have in this country between now and November. I don't think so. I just think that we have to stay focused on trying to go for the sanest candidate, basically.
Yeah, a matter of sanism. But I was thinking, me and my silver lining, I was thinking, isn't this a wonderful gift for the people like me who are like, I'm not voting for either devil. I need some different choices, God. And so,
But they didn't give you a different choice, though.
huh?
They didn't give you a different choice.
Well, I think
Well,
that yeah.
they are out of these two. It's the same administration, same mindset. I get what you're saying. I get that. And it's not exactly the same. So you see
But
what
the
I'm
thing
saying?
that I was gonna say, the thing that I kept hearing was age. They kept talking about age and this and that and all.
I didn't mind the age thing.
No,
The
I'll say it again. What you gonna say?
The age thing is not really a big deal. I feel like it's the mental clarity part of it. Because Maxine Waters is way older than Biden. She's more mentally clear than him. Joy Behar on The View is the same age as Biden, and she can clearly. But it's just the fact that he's mentally not there. When he's mentally not there, he's in decline, and we see that. We haven't gotten official news that he's been diagnosed with something, but we can clearly see that there's something going on there. When he did that interview the other day, he didn't even remember the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin's name and referred to him the black man. That was a problem.
So Sebastian, this is what I want to ask you, because actually this is so cool to have to be up here with Ms. Curves and with you at the same time. I was going to say to you, Sebastian, because I've heard this a lot. Do you feel? I mean, do you kind of? I would almost say, do you understand that a lot of your concerns that I've heard you, and I hear other people have. Then I don't feel personally they will be solved. Nothing will be solved between now and November. Truly, I feel like we don't really have. I'm not gonna like go to bed and be miserable. Like, oh my gosh, this is the option we have. No, I'm okay with what happened today, but I don't think that any major solutions will come up between now and November with the problems we have in this country. I really don't.
Okay, I'm going to say this.
So yes.
You know how France recently had elections, correct?
Yes, I do.
They recently had elections.
Oh yeah.
And they had elections they had two elections actually.
Yes, they did. They had one that was really I don't want to say the words online, but it was very, very, very scary. And then they had another version. Yeah.
They had two elections.
No, they did.
They had the European Union. No, they had three. They had the European Union elections. Ooh, that's all of Europe that had it. Then they had the legislative elections because of the results that came from the European Union elections. And then they had the second round of the the legislative elections.
Uh-huh.
France has an economy that is way smaller than the United States. So basically, I'm just saying, so the DNC cannot obviously just put a couple of candidates down and do a primary within a month.
I feel like they can. I mean, they should have been on the ready, and this will be a real testament to how ready they are. I mean, are we going to pivot or panic? And that's going to determine everything, because so far it's like somebody over there has been very asleep besides Joe. I mean, they must all be on the stuff over there.
This is why I was watching something a couple hours ago after the news broke and things, and someone brought up the fact that we don't know how legally this may work out, really, because some of the finances, yes, are tied to Kamala Harris, and she can, but at the convention, there can still be other challengers. So there can be other challengers to Kamala Harris, or who's going to be the ticket for Kamala Harris. I see someone put Josh Shapiro, a Harris Shapiro, because you're from Pennsylvania. I despise Josh Shapiro. And Curves, you know exactly why. We talk about it all the time. Josh Shapiro is I despise that, man. Well, no, I don't say despise. That sounds so wrong. I don't despise anyone. I despise his politics. And I'm great for Kamala and all these things, but I'm very disappointed that democracy was never respected, especially by the DNC. The
Yeah.
DNC failed the American people. They knew this man had cognitive issues. They knew there was a cognitive decline. It did not have to take the whole debate to know Joe Biden had a cognitive issues. When he said he saw President Mitterrand of France, who's been dead for the past 25, 26 years, they should have definitely knew that there was something up. They knew something was up when the special counsel, William Robert Hur, I think, said that Joe Biden didn't remember his tenure as vice president or his son that's dead. He didn't remember that his son was dead. He didn't remember these things. They trashed that man.
What was that man's name who said that?
I think just type in special counsel Hur, Hurr.
I thought that both Trump and Biden had cognitive issues, and I still do. I think
Well,
that-
the thing is, I think that's
I was going to
true.
say that too. I think that for me, the fact that he bowed out showed more grace again that Trump don't have. And so the thing is, at this point, everything that people, not you, Sebastian, but just in general, people say that maybe he's dropped out too late and didn't give a fair chance to this, whatever. I think that Trump still, the fact that he is still in the race, it's like really.
But you know why he's still in the race? I don't like him. I truly don't. But we have to blame our Congress and our Senate because they never made sure that the election laws were made in a certain way to prevent that from happening. That's why he's in the race.
He has major mental health.
Well, we don't have proof of his cognitive issues. I know he says crazy stuff, but he's not.
You know what I feel like should be the proof is what they say during their 93-minute ramblings. That should be the proof we need.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we have not gotten a medical report back from Biden about his mental things. All we got is these slips and dips and COVID, and virus issues. So the thing is, I thought that both candidates had major issues. It just showed that one person had dignity and grace to drop out. Another person is still out there, undiagnosed, so God knows what else is going on. At the end of
the thing is, he did a cognitive exam. He has crazy views, but he's mentally sane.
Who did the exam? You talking about Trump?
Yeah, he did a cognitive exam. Biden declined to do one.
Yeah, but you see, with Trump's, I don't believe anything comes from that camp at all. I don't believe the Supreme Court. I don't believe him. So
right?
No, I don't. I think that for me, again, what I would say is I thought there were two candidates before today that both had very major issues. One I was voting for, and the other person I wouldn't vote for on a hot day in hell. So that's just how I go about that. But also, again, we have major issues. And I personally, for me, not anybody else, I don't feel like I have the luxury to sit around and nitpick about what could be better, what could not be better. Because at the end of the day, I don't think any candidate is perfect. I just want to vote for somebody who is sane. And, that's just kind of what I'm going to go to. I don't think I have the luxury to really try to get to, we don't have a perfect candidate. We have no perfect choices this year. But I want the option in the future to have more conversations and more elections. I don't want it to be more hurdles and more obstacles for people to get to the polls than they could be in the future if one candidate gets elected. I just want the conversation to go because I don't really have any hatred against a Republican, independent, Green Party, whatever you are. I mean, we had George Bush, we had Bernie, we had so many different conversations going on. We don't always agree with everything, but I like that time, that era. Right now, I don't like what's going on, and I don't want to be this way for the next 20 years, the next 2 decades. Because one candidate is modeling his whole being about this man that was in Russia who's been in office for 20 years. He's running the country for 20 years, and that's his best friend globally. So for me, the fact that you have a friendship, a deep friendship with this person is very troubling to me because that's not American in my opinion. Also, I think that it was also hysterical that the Trump supporters, that I actually had a conversation on these platforms, which was great. And they actually turned around a little bit. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't understand how y'all can put this man on the pedestal as if he's a
god.
Not even a god, but the people who served in the war, like a war veteran. That's what I said to the people, because he has said some disgusting things about people who have served, people who have died. I think that maybe he didn't even go in. There was some issue whether he was going in or ran away or whatever. So the thing is, he is not a war veteran. And I couldn't vote for that. And so when I told the person who I said this to, they was like, "Oh, I didn't know," and they read the article with it. So you know what? At the end of the day, yeah, I just don't have the respect for Trump. I actually don't hate him. I just don't. I don't like what he represents. He represents, this is my way or the highway, and we're going to be stuck with this for the next. I don't want to be stuck with anything for 20 years. I want things to turn. Whether it's my side, whether it's Democrat or Republican, I like America. I like the fact that we can go up and we can go down. But with one party, they just wanted to lock it down for the next 20 or 30 years. I don't like that.
I don't agree. I understand. I agree with some things you've said. I don't agree with that. It's just one party that wants to lock people up and down. Me personally, I've always said this. Curves knows this. I'm the Switzerland in this situation. I look at things at both sides and mostly try to unite both sides to it. The two-party system is failing. The two-party system is failing, and I don't expect change. I don't expect change whoever wins this election. I really don't. I don't expect change.
Oh, I expect major negative change if Trump wins. I do.
I don't expect change for many reasons, and I'll give you this why.
Okay.
Number one, you need 60 votes to actually change something in the Senate, which is most likely not going to happen. Democrats are not going to join Republicans. Republicans are not going to join Democrats. They both, honestly, are not in the best interest of for the people. They can unite on sending money to foreign countries to ethnically cleanse groups of people, but they cannot unite to prevent children from getting unalived in schools.
Passion, do you think the project? And I'm not even. I love what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I like how you're saying it. But I want to ask you this because you said about the votes. Do you believe that Project 25 is a real threat? Because I do. But I really
do. I believe if Project 2025 is a real threat?
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, I believe Project 2025 is a real threat if Republicans had an absolute majority. Yes, I would, but they don't. So I don't in that case. I've spoken to Curves about this. Curves, I've spoken to you about this, right? If I believe it would be a threat if Republicans truly had a absolute majority, but they don't. They don't. And the thing is, authoritarianism coming from a country where my family comes from, a country that does have authoritarianism. This is why I'm getting pissed about this situation. The president is selected. Well, he has been president for a while, but the current president is selected by a group of people who are also just autocrats. So it's a very like weird thing. My point to this whole thing is that I don't support autocracy. I don't support that. And I don't support the either Democrats or Republicans. And I live in New York. Democrats have been leading the state very long. The person who represents me in Congress is a Democrat and stuff. So, and the governor and senators. I live in New York. I have independent views. I look at things differently. I look at things situationally. And I don't believe that either the Democrats or the Republicans have the best interests of the American people. Is Trump a clown? Absolutely. Is his supporters crazy? Absolutely. Is he a convicted felon? Yes. Did he go against certain laws? Absolutely. Now, when it comes to Kamala or the Biden-Harris ticket no longer exists. The current Harris ticket, it's another situation where we have to go.
Now, does she have to be on the top or the bottom? Does anybody in here know?
Well, that's the thing. They don't know yet. They don't know yet because she's not officially nominated.
I don't know. I think they're still working out the kinks probably. And I was going to say, this is the first time I'm hearing you get so serious about it, because most times I sometimes like, is he trolling people? But I like your perspective. I don't agree with everything, but I was going to say another thing, because you really, this is interesting. I think, okay, so maybe the Democrats and Republicans, again, I have to do a little more thinking about this. In your point of view, don't have much power. But I think that for me, the thing that really is troubling about Trump is that he's, in my opinion, dangerous, because the fact that he even people say he's not that smart. The way he stacked the Supreme Court is
Well,
unbelievable.
he didn't stack the Supreme Court. He had
Well,
the opportunities to
yeah,
put those
yeah, and
justices
he took
in.
and listen, it's working out in his favor, isn't it? Like everything this man is doing, it goes there, and then basically, well, it's like, wow, we had a president a couple of years ago who got impeached because he lied about this, that, and all that. We got this man inciting total, almost revolutions, and all type of criminal acts and problems or whatever, getting convicted, and it's just like
He was also impeached. Trump has also been impeached.
well, and all this stuff is happening. So it's all like they call him the Teflon, whatever he is. But yeah, so I think that for me, I think that's the part that I think it seemed like what rational people think could not happen. It always happens in his favor for him. It's like everything that every rule that we think is in place that could not be, because I think in the Project 25 or whatever, they don't want presidents to be in there for 8 years. They want them to be in there for longer if they feel like it's a threat in America. So they want to stay long. So there's everything is changing in their favor, I feel. And people say, oh, it's not possible for Roe v. Wade and this and that.
Well, Roe v. Wade was always possible. No one said that was impossible.
But when I'm saying Trump, I was scooting at Trump, Sebastian. But I'm saying Sebastian is, I just feel everything he put his mind to, he gets accomplished. Even as radical and upsetting and crazy it is. And do I think it's possible if he got elected that he would sit in that office for more than 8 years? I really, really do. I don't
because the thing is, there's checks and balances in this country, and that's what makes this country better than the country that my family comes from, which is Cuba. There's checks and balances here. There's multiple things in here that can prevent these things from happening, from authoritarianism, either on each side, Democrat or Republican or whatever. Me personally, what I am more scared of, Trump has very weird supporters. They're more scary than himself. His supporters harass people and do crazy shit. And the thing is, I don't like cult behavior. I really don't. I despise people who follow cults. And there was a cult for Biden too. There was this is a real thing. Cenk on the Young Turks spoke about it. There is a such thing as blue MAGA too. Blue MAGA exists as well, just as much as red MAGA exists. And I don't participate in this type of stuff. And the fact that when I saw that some people there are some people who push this narrative, this is fear, and I don't do fear mongering, because fear mongering is how the dictator was able to get into power in Cuba. Fear mongering causes dictatorships and autocracy. Fear mongering causes a lot of misinformation to go out, which is why I think it's important to listen to both sides and evaluate your stances on.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So I've been saying, just a second. Sorry, Sebastian. Oh my gosh. Where is this? How can I get this on the screen? Let me send it from myself to myself. So I've been like, something's going to happen where Kamala is going to be president before.
Well, there is a guy remember the guy that I talked about to you. There's some guy who does astrology, and he said Kamala will be president. She'll be the 47th president, and then Trump will be 48th. And I was just like, whoa. And then he also mentioned that we're going to have an economic disaster later this year.
Wait, because right now Biden's 46. So he's saying that Kamala's going to be 47, and then Trump's going to be it.
Yeah, he's basically implying that Biden's going to resign, or what happens. And then Kamala will be sworn in as president because she's technically VP. She would technically be the 47th. And then during the election season, she believes.
That would make her the 47th. Now I understand.
Yeah, okay. That's what he meant.
So I've been saying that same thing. I'm like, okay, unfortunately, I think they're going to retire his clone. And no, seriously. And if they do that, then this would be the perfect setup. First, he said he's not going to leave unless it was his health. And then he gets the vid. And now he's retiring. And look.
Defeat Trump and continue the work that Joe has done.
It says President Biden's brother says
Frank
health was one of the Frank says one of the factors in the decision to drop out of the presidential race. Selfishly, I will have him back to enjoy whatever time we have left.
So he's dying.
Like they know something's happening.
That's my point. And the thing is, Curves,
My
this is
hope
why
is that our
the reason why I'm more pissed about this situation, they knew this man has been sick. Because remember,
Right.
they did not want debates. At first, the Democrats did not want debates. They did not want debates. So they knew this man was sick. And this is why the debate was held early in the year, because we've never had debates this early before. I don't remember in my lifetime, I don't remember a debate being this early. They had this debate to show him that something's up and something's wrong. And
Right.
the fact that it was done now this late is a disservice to the American people, because we could have truly had the option of actually participating in democracy, hearing
Thank
Marianne
you.
Williamson, Dean Phillips, Cenk Uyghur. Maybe Bobby Kennedy would have been in the DNs, the part of them. My Senator Kristen Gillibrand, and probably Chuck Schumer, maybe Mayor former Mayor Bill de Blasio. All these things could have been done. All of these things could have been done, but that's not what was done. And I know some people are saying, "Oh, vote blue no matter who." I personally believe that you should vote whoever is in your best interest, no matter who it is, blue or red. You don't have to vote down ballot for one party. Please don't do that. Well, do that if you want, but at least you should educate yourself on each of your representatives, senators, local elected officials before you make these things. No, I don't think Trump is going to run in 2028, even if he loses. Many say that's why the guy who said that Kamala will be president is because Joe Biden is most likely going to resign, or the other thing.
Yeah.
He's most likely going to resign.
Real quick, listen.
This heroic act. We asked him whether he feels that his brother's overall health and vitality played a major role in this decision, and he says, in my humble opinion, absolutely. So a member of the president's family now confirming that the president's health was indeed a major factor in this decision, and calling his brother a hero for making the decision to pass the torch to Kamala Harris.
So Nancy, sorry, can you clarify that the family is saying his health was or was not a factor?
He's saying that in his humble opinion, yes, the president's health and vitality played a considerable role in his decision. It's important to note, Frank Biden is not speaking for the family writ large. This was simply a conversation between CBS News and Frank Biden. Unclear how much input he had in this decision, but he says that he believes that his brother's health did play a role, and he says that the goal remains the same: to defeat Donald Trump. Now hearing for the first time from a member of President Biden's family about this decision. CBS News had a brief conversation with Frank Biden, one of President Biden's two younger brothers, and here's what he told us. He said, "I'm incredibly proud of my brother. Selfishly, I will have him back to enjoy whatever time we have left."
You guys, I feel like they might be retiring his clone based off of these statements. Why would anybody I never even heard from Frank Biden before. Who let him get in front of a microphone with a statement that is repeat worthy? I heard of Bo. Isn't the dog Bo? Bo Biden? No, the dog's not Bo. That's the son.
No, his son is Bo. His son is Bo
around
Biden.
biting people. I've heard more about the dog going around biting people. His deceased son. And the one that likes recreational drugs more than...
No, they're not recreational.
Oh yeah, they're hardcore.
Listen.
Yeah. And have you ever heard of Frank before?
Actually, I haven't. I think once, because I think he also is in like good relationship with his nephew, Biden's son, Hunter, the one that likes snorting and stuff. I think they're in good cahoots and stuff. I think because there were reports, because the thing is, when I watch my news, a lot of people think I don't watch CNN, I don't watch MSNBC, I don't watch Fox News, I watch nonpartisan news, I watch Al Jazeera, BBC. Sometimes if I want to watch American news,
that's not from here,
it would be News Nation.
Isn't that weird?
These three news stations, Al Jazeera, BBC, and News Nation, are the only ones that truly give the news the way it should be given. Um, so I've heard of Frank, I think, 'cause he's very close with the son, and the son received money from a Russian mayor, I believe, and
For what?
has well, that's a whole nother. This is why that's a whole nother problem. I voted for Biden in 2020. I know a lot of people think I didn't. A lot of people think I'm a Trump supporter when I voice my opinions because I give both sides. I don't support you automatically, but I voted for him in 2020 because I don't like Trump. I really don't. And what's happening now in this election may solidify a Trump presidency. Because after what the Republicans held in that convention,
Did you hear they're going to sue?
I heard they might sue.
Yeah, they want to sue because they think they're supposed to be running against Biden, and if they switch it now, then blah blah blah. However, based off of what Surrey just told us, we don't even have to announce for sure until the DNC convention, which is soon, right?
Yes. My thing is this: I don't like the fact that I don't like that democracy was not upheld here. This is the party that's quote unquote screaming that, oh, he's a danger to democracy and everything. We have to uphold democracy either way. So this is why I'm saying this is not going to quote unquote help them. This is not going to do that. And besides the Speaker of the House, who I don't like, Mike Johnson, he's a Republican. I don't like him. Not because he's a Republican, because of some of his views. He brought up a good point. He said, it's even better if you send Kamala, because we can definitely use, because she's part of the current White House, we can use her failed policies to campaign. So,
hey, look, look, they're like,
it's just different face, same politics.
Yeah. What about this Shapiro guy? Don't you like? Is it Ben Shapiro?
No, it's not Ben Shapiro. His name is Josh Shapiro. He's the governor of Pennsylvania. Curves. He's a strong supporter of the ethnic cleansing that's happening currently. And personally, the Black Muslims in Philly will make sure he's not. They probably would not vote for that ticket.
Okay, yeah, that's all over the place. Here's what that means for Josh Shapiro. Backs Harris amid speculation over. Let's present this. Share the screen. Now I have this new little layout. I didn't realize that.
I agree with one thing. He does believe in school choice and school vouchers and stuff. I agree with that, but I would not. I'm not even gonna be in the country, so I'm not gonna be voting in this election anyway.
But you say you're running from America?
Huh?
What you say, you leaving America?
No, I'm not gonna be in the country.
During the election, are you leaving permanently?
No, I'm not leaving because of the election. I have an internship to do in another country, so I'm not gonna be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you said, I said, oh, you leave. I said, well, you're not going to be here. I said, what do you mean? You're leaving? Or
No. I'm leaving prior to the election. I'm leaving in September. So.
Okay. So when you come back,
you know that for sure.
You come back in 2025?
What did they say?
I said, when you come back in 2025?
Yeah, I'll be back in 2025. Grown woman, don't try me. I'm a Muslim woman. Just how do you know that for sure? I don't know that for sure. I'm just basing it off the fact that a lot of people are upset with the administration on what they're doing. A lot of Muslims in the Muslim community are upset with how the administration is allowing an ethnic cleansing of their brothers and sisters. Lisa, girl, you can do an absentee vote. That is true, but it's very complicated when you're out of the country and you want to do an absentee vote, because you got to find a way to mail your ballot back to the U.S. and you got to pay a huge amount of money and stuff.
Wait, but do you still have family here? Because if you get I'm trying to think how that works. Maybe you could talk to your local board of election. They can make some kind of arrangement for you.
No, I'm not gonna be here even before the last. I'm gonna be leaving in early September, and I'm not gonna be in the country prior to the election either, because I'm gonna be leaving, going to Brazil soon. So.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm actually going to drop down.
I'm gonna be there for the majority of the month of August, and then
and then you're out. You're going with
and
your
then I'm gonna probably come back here and be in the U.S. for like 4 days, and then I'm leaving again to Europe.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Like a,
Yeah, so he won't be here for it, Mel. Me and you will be here. Are you leaving too?
I ain't going no damn way. I'm staying right here in America. Listen, you know what I tell people all the time too when they come to New York City. I have friends who were here before the pandemic and they left. And I kind of judge them a little bit. It's like, damn, I feel like I'm a New Yorker because I'm born here and I was here when September 11th happened. I was here when the pandemic happened. I'm not going with whoever's in office. Whoever's in office, I'm still going to be here.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's going. But at the end of the day, what the biggest thing for me with this election is that I've been so surprised. I've been so surprised when I watch the different coverage on either side, as Sebastian is saying, about not about Trump. Actually, I think that Trump is just a nightmare. But I just think that people get so surprised that these politicians are not perfect. They're not superheroes. They have different deals. They have different business practice. They have different life, ups and downs. They said crazy things in the 1970s and the 80s, and these people are not perfect, and some of them are worse than others. And I don't believe that there's any perfect politician. We don't even have a perfect preacher or reverend in this country. So it's funny to me. I'm very realistic, very practical kind of person. And when I vote, I don't look for perfection. I just look for sanity. And that's what I vote for. And also, I want the conversation to continue. That's my biggest dream. I just want the conversation to continue. I don't want the cards to be stacked against one side or the other. If it's Democrat, I don't want them just gobbling up everything and keeping other people out. I want the balance, and I think that when I hear this conversation about, well, what this person did in 1979, and what they did in 1980 and 1995, and this person, that, but I don't care about that. I really don't.
But that's also important, though. Now,
Sebastian, I was going to say this. I don't personally, for me, not to you, Sebastian, but for me, I don't care about that because this year, more than any other year, I'm voting. I'm going to be here. And it's very important to me that the conversation continues. And in my mind, and in just what I've read and just what I've seen, let's make this country great again. And the idea that to me just means that certain people just want to shut it down and want to make it just one way for a very long time. And I'm not pro. I like Democrat and I like Republican. I have friends of both things. I just like the conversation to continue. And there's no perfect politician. I think that's kind of short-sighted and a little naive to think that anybody can be really good. I don't care if it's Bernie Sanders or the Kennedy man or whoever. Nobody's perfect. Absolutely.
I agree with you. No one can be really good.
Nobody's perfect. Absolutely none. And Trump to me represents a threat. He represents a threat of is either my way or the highway. That if you don't do things my way, I'm gonna seek vengeance against you. I'm going to be punitive. I'm going to seek you out. I'm going to do these things to you. And I'm like, okay, but and also the biggest thing for me that was very threatening is I might not want to leave in 4 years. I might not want to leave in 8. I might not want to leave in 16. I might want to just sit here and just make up the rules as I go. And that to me is annoying. It's not really something that's going to keep me up at night, but it's like, wow, this is what's going on. That I don't want. And quite frankly, whatever's going to happen, there's strategies to make it through. I tell people all the time in my little circle, look up who represent, go to Google and find who representme.gov and put your city there. And then talk to your local officials that you enjoy. And then also, when you talk to those local officials, I want you to ask them about your local community board. I've joined mine during the pandemic. It's wonderful because you get to really participate in your local stuff. And then also go to your board of election. Make sure that everything's current. There's no hurdles, that your voting site, that everything's on point, no address, no dots, do all that stuff this summer. So when you do the voting process, it's very easy. So now you're participating, the voting process is easier, and that's all you really can do. And also volunteer. I've donated today, actually, when this news came out, I was a donating machine. I mean, I was like, okay, I just push my little Apple thing, and I was just donating. So there's ways to participate. It is not really that. It doesn't have to be gloom and doom, because it just doesn't have to be. And at the end of the day, we will survive. Especially, we will. But yeah, I don't want the conversation to end. I don't want it just to be just locked down one way for a long time. I think anytime Trump has put his mind to something, he's made it happen, basically. And if it was for everybody in the country, and if it was a good vision, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But it's just very prejudiced, in my opinion. It's very one sided. It's very just for a certain type of person. And yeah, no, I don't want that. So I don't believe in a perfect politician, and that's just why I stand with that. I don't think Trump is perfect. I think he's, in my opinion, very insane. I don't think that what we have currently on the Democratic side is perfect at all, but it is what it is.
Makes sense. I agree with most of what you said.
I was just talking, Mel. Okay, so thanks for your POV. I love it. You're right. Sanity is a great indicator of leadership ability. And, we don't need too much crazy going on over there. And both parties do, there's two cheeks, same ass.
Amen. That's why I left political parties altogether. And I'm just...
Yes. What do you think Phaedra means by this? Real quick.
At this point, I'm going to vote for digging up an old president and going with a weekend at Bernie's type of administration. I mean, because this is crazy. This hasn't happened since 1960 something. So this is just, she's voicing. You know how much I don't like Phaedra Hers. You know how much I always don't like Phaedra, but she's speaking the truth here.
Right. Well, she has a point, and she's an Esquire. So she would know. Look,
you know what? She's an Esquire that finally won some cases, which I'm sure made Cynthia very mad. But
right.
Right. When she, Phaedra,
I heard they picked filming back up for RHOA.
What you said? You said they filming again?
They started filming again for RHOA, I believe.
Well, yeah. You know what? That not to change the subject altogether before I bounce down, but yeah, that season, that whole show is in trouble because I don't know who these new ladies are. I really don't know them, but they, it's not really compelling me to want to go watch the show because Kenya was terrorizing them for a little bit, and then she got in big trouble. Who knows what happened to her? But I just feel like it shows desperation. It seems like they're all desperate, and even the stuff that's happening with Portia is not really my cup of tea. It's like it's low. It's nothing is there. So
yeah. There should be real divorcees of housewives of Atlanta, or ex-housewives, soon to be exes. I don't know.
I think
they need to think about their brand more, though.
You know what? I think if they go back to basics, they might have a fighting chance. I just think that if they talked about love. I think that for me, when the show first started, we saw these women, all the franchises, talk about their husbands, talk about getting a husband, talk about maybe healing from a breakup, but it was real and it was real. Also, one thing that most shows don't really recognize and don't use enough is that any time in any city, these women, some of them, these goddesses, because I enjoy them. Whenever they work together on a charity or some kind of business together, 9 times out of 10, those confessionals are unbelievable. They are funny. They're shady. They think, why did she do that? Why did she? That's when the cast work together. That's instant reality gold because you have so much stuff there. And then when you get to a reunion, you have to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. You don't really have to sit there and be at these boring little things that they do in Potomac or whatever else. It's really some meat there. And then if something shocking happens, like a Erica Girardi or Apollo going to
prison. Did you see for Erica? They're including her $25 million that all the women were talking about that season. Remember, she bit off Sutton and Garcelle's head and was like, "You guys shouldn't be talking about that. You're wrong." And the LA Times had revealed that it was on the table and then it was off the table. Well, it readmitted that for sure they need to include whatever money was given to EJ Global LLC, which is the $25 million American Express card from Girardi Keys that Erica used to fund everything we saw on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Uh-oh. Wow. Well,
Right.
you know, I'm trying to think. Did they finish filming? Because I think I was seeing Dorit and them arguing. I'm not sure if they finished everything in Beverly Hills, but
Oh, did Dorit get to film? I thought she was demoted or quit or something.
I saw a scene where she was at the table getting yelled at by Kyle. You know, Kyle and her were yelling at each other at some kind of scene.
Oh,
So, hmm yeah,
wow.
you know what? I wish that Kyle would just be be a mature lady and go, you know what, Lisa Vanderpump, I was wrong. I was
Yeah.
wrong, wrong, wrong. You know what? I should not have done you the way I did when your family member died. I chose,
Right.
I chose to read over you. And this is what I will also say about Monique, because some of the fact is, I like when the friendship. I love the best part for me about these shows were the friendships. Those were the things that I love. You know what? As controversial as it is to say, I know it is controversial. One of my favorite friendships when the show was really good was Sonia Ramona, because I know
Yeah,
Ramona
that used to be a good one
because they used to get
before we
drunk
found out everything.
before I found out everything about my girl from Ebony K Monet.
Yeah.
Ebony K. They used to be in the bed drunk all the time. They used to get dressed up like like Grey Gardens. It was just I enjoyed it. But so I love the friendships, and I enjoyed Monique and Candace. I enjoyed Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump. So I always
For
hope
sure.
that they go, you know what? Why did we break up? Why did we do this? Especially with Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump, like they broke up because of Dorit. So now if Kyle is mad at Dorit, it would make sense to go, you know what, girl? I made a big mistake. I'm so sorry. I wasn't in Dorit's house with that dog out there. I'm not sure why I took her side. I should, now I'm seeing how messy she is, and you know what? I'm sorry. And then maybe Lisa will come back to the show. So you never know.
Yeah, we never know. I don't
Yeah,
know. Lisa has her whole own set of issues, but that
yeah,
was a great friendship to behold when it was in its prime, for surely. For
it was.
surely.
It was.
Well,
Well,
I
I'm
wanted to just come on today, and I didn't want to stay over an hour, so I'm glad that we're kind of wrapping up. You have any final thoughts on what people um, are saying, or what your final thoughts are on this breaking news that Joe Biden withdrew from the presidential race, endorsing Kamala, and then Trump even made a statement, something about, oh, he was a horrible president anyway.
of
He should
course,
have
of course, of course. You know
Yeah.
what? I think that for me, we live in very unpressed. We live in very um, new times. The times I don't. I think that's kind of what the big takeaway from the story is, that I'm trying to think if there was ever a time in history that a sitting president, withdrew from having a second term when he didn't have no impeachment, no legal issues, no nothing. So that's kind of like, oh my gosh, we live in very, new times basically. Because I'm doing my history lesson in my mind, and I
Yeah.
don't think there's ever been a president, unless he had legal issues, had told the public, I'm just going to back out. That's just like, whoa, so.
Right. Yeah. Well, all I know is that if you want to vote, vote. If you don't want to vote, don't vote. If you do vote, do it in your best interest. Don't be a sheeple. Do it for your best interest. You don't have to do nothing. Don't feel like an arm is twisted or there is anything forced to your head. You have the right to vote for your best interest, period. Dot. Your local elections, as everyone knows, your local state elections, government elections, you have opportunity really, really, really there to affect change without the whole electoral college. That's where you get your DAs. So next time there's a Kamala Harris coming up, you
Mhm.
would have got to vote on that.
That's right.
And the people that used or didn't use their vote helped Kamala be able to do that in San Francisco for so many years. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So yeah, vote locally, vote generally, but just do whatever you're doing because you want to. Okay, that's what I'm
Amen.
saying. That's what I'm saying. And as part of the collective, people say that, you should because people died and fought for it. for the right for it. And in doing so, they also fought for your right to do what the F you want to do with your time and your energy. And so kudos finally to Joe for doing the right thing. I already said he should have done it a lot sooner. He painted us into a little corner as far as I'm concerned, but he couldn't have done it without everybody else who allowed him to do it, including the DNC. And Kamala didn't even say, we're not having a primary. You know what I mean? Like I needed, where were the adults in the room? You know, I don't know. But now we have what we have, and we're going to make the best of a great situation. Hopefully she'll pick somebody that perhaps is not on brand with the current administration to the degree where they would be able to absorb the people that aren't cool with what's happening or not happening with old Sleepy Joe and what he's been doing for these 4 years as president. And really be able to show her chops, you know. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you're right. She got to be strategic. She got to be. And I was going to say too, yeah, I think that sometimes when people say that they just don't want to vote, I think you made a good point. I just think that the fact that we, especially as African American people, have the right to vote, and the fact that we have the luxury in 2024 not to vote was definitely given to us by our ancestors, you know.
Yeah.
Because we were doing things in this country that we were going through hell. And the simple fact that day that came where we can get to the table and say, well, I want to vote for, you know, shorter work hours or whatever it was that was going to affect our community was a big thing. So, you know, listen, we live in America and everybody has a right to do whatever they want to do, but never, always think your mom, your dad, your grandparents, all of them, for the fact that you have the luxury to sit on your couch and not, you know, and not vote, you know, because that luxury is, we didn't have it 300 years ago.
That's true. That is so true. And I particularly am just going to say it. I feel a way about old boy and the new nominee, the newly endorsed Kamala Harris. I feel a way about their treatment of particularly the African Americans and telling them to wait and never getting back to them. I'm just like, dude, I'm like, really? And then you're going to pull us out of your pocket now again and want us to save you again? Look, we did fight for the right to vote. We used it. They abused it. And we get to do what's in our best interest for real this time, whatever that means. I hope Kamala can convince me that she would be a great person to do this. I hope she can. I really, 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 really hope she can. I really hope she can convince whoever's the major donors are, who AOC was saying would not back a Kamala ticket. I hope that something happens where it could happen. And historically, this is a beautiful moment. Can we just give a shout out to historics and moments as far as a Black woman endorsed for presidency? That's like a first time ever. And it's on a Capricorn full moon. Thank you. Like, that's huge. That is huge. Just on that's huge. Think about how huge that is. We had Hillary and now we have Kamala. Right? So just as women, now we have, and then for Kamala, you know, some Black people are like, you know, but she's not Black. She's not Black. I'm like, well, look, we're not getting into semantics, but she covers a lot of people of color in one person. This is the first Asian president too, right? The president nominee, right? Because of her mother's heritage. The first Caribbean nominee because of her father's heritage, right? The first Black woman because people are like, I guess the one drop rule. And and then how old is she? Is she younger than many nominees too? I wonder if that's something also. I wonder how old she is. But there's a lot of firsts going on. And hopefully this is just the first step in a new, awesome beginning, completion of the old out with the old, in with the new. I really hope so. I really hope so. But I'm going to need to see something that she's going to do to combat Project 25, Agenda 47, what they're doing in these courts, where they're sending my tax dollars, what they're doing to these infrastructures. Like, I'm going to need to hear it. And I don't need to hear it with not the one damn smile, Kamala. I know you really don't want anybody to see you as an angry Black woman, but all of this freaking cackling, smiling is nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. She needs somebody to get on there and do a whole training where she never cackles and smiles that big again for no damn reason. You know, but I think she can do it. I think, look, people were not cool with the ticket. God made a way. We're about to get a new nominee. It may or may not be her. But as far as democracy is happening, don't complain about it if you're not going to participate.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I actually think I think I heard in one of the interviews years ago when she said, when people asked her, you always seem to be in such a good mood under, intense moments or whatever. And I believe she said she learned that in law school, because obviously being a sister who, is a brown and going to this very conservative and misogynistic, communities where they talk about her hair texture, talking about her skin or whatever, she could either just go off and they just like, okay, you're the problem, or she can just, smile. I think she learned that in those spaces where she had to do that. But I think now, because she has this power, it would be nice to see her pull maybe, to really tap into it and do like I forget the woman's name. Oh my gosh, that told that lady she was a blonde, bad build, whatever. She need to give a little of that energy.
Oh, Jasmine. Yeah, she needs some representative Jasmine.
Miss Jasmine and her need to get.
She needs to go hang out with her for a month.
Absolutely. You know what? She need to learn the dozens. How about that? 'Cause that was what Whoopi Goldberg called. She said, "Well, we know the dozens." I said, "Well, my mama used to say the dozens." She said, well, she need to whip out the dozens too, and really know how to get up in there. I don't think that because you read people, it means that your intelligence levels go down. I don't think so. I think that you just have to find a good mixture. And at the end of the day, the Republicans are playing. They stunt queens. They're playing jokes. They're not being professional. So why in the world would you even, you got to play a little bit with the people. So I think,
you got to play with people on their court. You can't go to the basketball court with tennis balls.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Miss Kurz, I'm going to drop down, but it was good coming in, talking to y'all.
Thanks for coming up. That was an excellent, robust conversation, Mel. I appreciate you. Have a happy rest of your Sunday.
You too. Have a safe week.
You too. Thanks a lot. Okay, Curvies. Well, there you have it. No way. Allie from Miami has been in the back all this time. Allie, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I didn't even see you back there. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm just throwing this camera up and say, hey, what's up?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah. And this whole thing, this is a hot mess. I mean, 2024 is like promising.
It's giving what it gave. It's giving what Williams started it with. What are your thoughts on him stepping down, Biden withdrawing from the race, his endorsement of Kamala Harris, all the other endorsements that she's gotten? What do you think about the process? Do you care that what Donald Trump says? What are your thoughts, Allie?
Well, my thoughts is that I don't understand. I'm trying to understand what the Democrat Party is doing, because they've been talking about Biden not running since 2023. They had plenty of time to just pass the torch to Kamala, so they could have actually have a proper Democrat primary like how they're supposed to. They literally waited to the last minute, and I'm like, why did they do that? Because it's really weird, because it's almost like you're giving it to her when she actually didn't earn it. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't see anybody else. We never really did any debates on the Democratic side. I'm just not really liking how the Democrat Party did this. They could have done it with a lot more grace than just say, okay, we know Biden, who's been showing a decline for years. Oh yeah, now we're going to read this, do the right thing now. They took too long, and I'm just kind of wondering why they took so long. That's why, because how are we going to do? Is she just going to automatically get the endorsement and run again? So we're not going to see any other Democrats who wants to probably get the chance?
That I know. Look, exactly. I totally agree. I was saying when I started, and I just said it again, I feel like the cheeks have painted us into a corner. The diaper rash is turning septic at this point. It's like, who's in charge? What are you guys doing? And why did so many people let this slide until now? In the meantime, they shamed people who were noticing it and who were questioning, why are you guys putting this man propping? Look, why are you propping Weekend at Bernie's up in front of us? That was our question.
Yeah, because even last year, people been calling it out, and like you said, they were just saying, oh no, you're wrong. Basically,
Not even you're wrong, Allie. They would tell us, as soon as you mention anything that's real, truth, observation, they would say, you just want Trump to be president. You're just trying to have Trump be president. And no, I just want a viable candidate for me to vote for over here.
And to me, in my opinion, you had other people that could have been president. I felt like there were other people that could have went against Trump if you gave them a chance. Why are you so set on these small group of people? You cannot tell me that in all of America, that all these politicians, right? There's no Democrat that's probably could be able to sit down there and go toe to toe with Trump and still be able to go to the agenda. Why is it that these set of people are the only one, the same 5 set of people are the only ones that could do it? And I'm sorry, I got to put my conspiracy hat on. Who is running the government? Because at this point, these are just faces. Who is running the government? Where my money is going to? What they're doing my money? This is literally showing your face that the people who are electing are not running it. I just need to know, is the Illuminati, as they say, is it some kind of secret billionaire in a cave? I know I'm sounding crazy, but this is unprecedented. We don't just give someone a ticket to be nominated when they never even once done that before. Why is this okay? This is weird. Like even Obama, let's just go back. Obama had to go and debate and work to get both of his terms in.
Yeah, like they were doing, me and Sebastian just were pontificating about how they're claiming that they need to stop this deal of democracy while still in the freaking democracy.
Exactly. If we're really going to come out, they didn't do this for Obama. We all know Obama was qualified, but he had to earn his spot. He had to keep proving it that, yes, I can do it. So I know we all want to have, I'm not for identity thing, but why Kamala get to pass it unless she's just a figurehead and she's just supposed to be, like they call it, a puppet? Because I'm just being real. I followed this thing and no one was happy with Kamala. Last year, allegedly, Biden did say, that he was not happy with her leadership skills. Felt like she dropped the ball. When it came with the immigration down in the border, that was her task and she didn't do anything. It's worse than failing. If you fail, at least you said, I did it. She didn't do anything. And then on top of that, last year, she went over to Africa, and those people in Africa basically laughed her out of the whole continent. They don't respect her. She's supposed to be a Black woman, and you couldn't even get these people in Africa to sit there and respect you and take you seriously. They're like, girl, get out of here. So what's she going to do? Is she supposed to run the government when no one takes her seriously? On a foreign policy and the local policy, like, let's really sit here and look at her resume. She's terrible.
Right.
I saw that when I saw those people talk about Kamala came there to our country, had the audacity try to tell us what to do. We told her, like, nah, baby, you need to go home with that. We don't care what you say. They had no respect for her. How you expect her to run the country where other heads of state do not respect her? Not because she's a woman, because they don't take her seriously, because they know that her resume does not match anything. They already know you're not running the country, so we don't have to listen to you.
Yeah. So also, do you feel like there's red MAGA and blue MAGA? Pretty much like it's like there's Democrat fanatics and Republican fanatics, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
And this whole vote blue no matter what. It's like when Biden was the candidate, they were like, oh, vote blue no matter what, even though everything he hasn't done and everything he's lying about, you know what I mean? And messing up, just whatever is better than the other one. And
yeah.
Like,
and the sad thing, you're good because we actually have been doing that for, I think, the last few elections where we're not voting on the person based on their policies, based on the results, based on what they can do as a leader. We've been voting people like, well, we don't like this one, so we voted for the other person because we don't like the other person. We got to stop that. We got to actually look at the person's resume and say, are they fit to run the country? Are they able to sit there and drive the economy to go up? Are they able to bring prosperity to our country? Are they going to sit there and invest in our future with our children? You know, do their job. I vote you in to do your job. To me, elections are not election. It's a time for me to fire and hire people. That's what elections are. When us normal people get a chance to say, based on what you've done, you get to keep your job or you get to be fired. But it became a popularity show and whoever's the most liked. I mean, I get it, but that's why our country seems to be going to the pits. What is this? We got one guy, he's basically a halfway martyr, you know, and then you have another one. I don't know what's going on. This is a mess. This is a mess.
Look here. I don't know. That's why I was saying people need to vote what's in their best conscience.
And definitely look at your local government, all the way down to the school boards, all the way down to the sheriff's office, your judges, your representatives, your mayors. It seems a pain to go and vote for your local government, but that's where it all starts. We got to start looking at these people who's running our day.
So I was just told that Kamala Harris is already ready to campaign. She's ready to campaign.
Let's listen to her.
What are you going to start your campaign with, Kamala? I'm ready to be unburdened by what I've caused.
Sorry, I pushed the wrong button.
Like,
my bad,
seriously.
Allie.
I'm tired of the whole, oh, it's because I'm black and now I'm Indian one day, and then stop with your BS. Oh, I'm a woman. You cannot say that you are for women. Period. I don't care how much you want to throw it around. Oh, Roe v. Wade, and I'm for women's rights, and the government shouldn't tell you what to do. But, like, come on, Kamala. You have lied your way through your whole administration, through your whole career. Through the whole career. As soon as you and Willie got together, that's when it all started. You have lied non-stop. You have lied these last 4 years about how Joe has completely disintegrated in front of your eyes. You couldn't even answer a question with Anderson Cooper. You want to be president? What? And you're not for women. Don't even get me started. Look at all the women that lost their jobs. Nurses, military, law enforcement. Sit down. You haven't gone and watched Daily Wire with Scamala? I only knew about 60% of it. There's a lot more. If you want to know who Kamala Harris is before she starts campaigning, unburdened by what has been, guarantee you're not going to Texas. That's for sure. Texas would be like, do not come. Do not come. Where's Tulsi?
Oh my gosh. So that's a lot. That's a lot. And I think that's that lady that usually, imitates her. Let me see, where is she? So she's been imitating her this whole time because she doesn't like her. I thought, oh my gosh, her whole entire page is Kamala satire. And I thought it was like, she was like just being funny, but I guess she does not like Kamala at all, you guys.
Kamala is not popular. I mean, and then the thing is, even her results. I mean, this is the main reason why, from what I've heard, because I've been following this thing, is that people felt like they had to make Biden keep running because they couldn't find anybody else to take it over, and nobody was confident that Kamala could do the job.
Right.
So it seems so strange that this is what you guys been talking about for the past year. They've been talking about this for the past year, that they did not feel that Kamala, even the Democrat Party, did not feel that she could do it. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we're backing up Kamala. Like, you guys are lying. It was just last year. You guys were like, no, not Kamala. No, we can't have her do it. She gonna lose against Trump. No. No, we can't have her. That's what they've been saying for the year. And all of a sudden, why you keep playing in my face?
Yeah, that part. Stop playing in our face.
I mean, this is ridiculous. They really think she's gonna win against Trump. They really think she's gonna do this. This is just a bad taste.
This is, you know what? I just don't know what happened to the democracy of it all. Like, where'd democracy go? Why did we get a primary? Why did they allow it to go this long? Why did they only leave us 107 days? Why did they prop him up like that? Why? Unless they're in on it and want what's about to happen.
Yep. I think this was set up. I think they did this on purpose because I think the Democratic convention is next week. And that's when they're supposed to officially announce who's going to be the running candidate. So they didn't just leave it to the day of the election. They left it for only having 1 week before the Democratic election starts, where you don't have a chance to really say who's supposed to be on the ticket, and you have no choice but to use Kamala.
Yeah.
They literally waited to the last minute, and that is not democracy. You didn't give people a chance to voice. Do we want her to represent us for the Democratic Party? Because you cannot tell me there's no one else out there that was better.
Right. And it's just all crazy. They're making me crazy.
And I remember, not to cut you off, like, I think it's Robert Kennedy. It was sometime last year, he came up and said he wanted to run for the Democratic Party. And they basically ran him out the party, and now he's running as a third party candidate. Why didn't give him a chance? Why didn't do the primary properly? And he would have probably been a better bet.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know when we're going to get the next little bit. I guess it's going to be probably at the DNC. I'm not sure when that's scheduled. I think it's in August. But I guess that's when she'll finally accept it, or they'll finally prop her up and we'll get our ticket. So far, everybody who could be a potential competition has endorsed her pretty much. They're just trying to let it be smooth and try to get in on that vice presidency thing, so I don't know if they're gonna, I don't know what's happening. I just don't know. But if 45 becomes 48, because she becomes 47, because his family did just say, did you hear what his family said, Allie?
No, I missed that. It was so much crazy.
Joe Biden's brother, Frank, came out and said that he's so glad Joe stepped down because now they can spend whatever time he has left together.
Not surprising. He was going down. You could see it every day. He's getting to that weird loopy stage.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so very ridiculous. So very. Listen.
But maybe get going. I don't know. I'm just going to keep watching this and see what's going on. Thanks for.
No worries,
Thank you.
Allie. Thanks for coming up. And I will see you soon. And thanks for coming in, sharing your POV with me as always. Everybody else, make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go ahead and ring that bell so you can get notified when we go live like this about whatever we go live about, y'all. Look, it's a crazy day. It's a crazy day. I hope you go outside and enjoy the full moon in Capricorn. And I'll see you in the next video. Remember what I always say, go